All right, welcome to the relationship show. This one will probably give you an example on, maybe my situation's not as bad as you think, in compared to like this situation or what these people are going through. And this will also give you like an insight on, how difficult it can be to walk away from real like toxic relationships. So we'll get into it. This guy, he's the brother of, well, obviously his sister, who's in this abusive relationship. So he says, fought my sister's abusive baby daddy, and now he's refusing to see his son until she comes home. So he's 22. He says, I have a sister, Marie, who's 29, that has been dating this 33-year-old douchebag on and off for roughly 5 years. He's a nasty piece of work that has stolen from our parents, kicked in our front door when Marie makes him mad, and fought over half our family at social gatherings, along with a slew of other issues that go on for miles. The police have been called on this idiot or something 100 times, and my sister either bails him out or they let him off. No matter what we do or say, she just won't leave him. And 2 years ago, had a son by this moron. Yeah, so it can be very difficult to leave toxic relationships. It's like whatever that is, psychology. But once we're in that and we experience like an abuse or try to fix the person, it's almost like we're trying to make them better, and we want so hard, we work so hard. It's like when we work so hard towards things, it's like, or have been like so emotionally invested, like going through difficult or struggles or even abuse. It's almost like we want it to work so bad that we will do anything to stay or anything to defend a person, even when they don't deserve defending. you know my sister is currently 6 months pregnant with baby number two, a girl. She's high risk and can't work. Baby daddy got fired for stealing from his employer and decided to kick her and my 2-year-old nephew out for the 900th time. They always come to stay with me since I live closer than our mom and dad. I honestly don't think they'd take them in anyway. The last time they did, baby daddy attempted to fight my dad. Uh, 2 weeks ago, he shows up at my house in the middle of the night, drunk off his ass, screaming for Marie. She apparently had a lengthy phone call earlier in the evening telling him she's not coming back and she's going to get back on her feet at my house, but he's welcome to see nephew and niece whenever. He didn't like that. I have a large German Shepherd and a Great Dane. They're going crazy by the front door barking, and I'm on the phone trying to give my address to the cops when he starts kicking the door. So he called the cops beforehand to say, hey, this crazy guy's ex-boyfriend of my sister or whatever is at my house screaming at me drunk. And then he kicks the door in. I shouted a warning that if he comes through that door, he's going back in a body bag or baggies, depending on if the dogs or me get him first. He busts in the door as I'm coming down the hall and hits Carrots, who's the Great Dane, over the head with a baseball bat. Holy fuck. She dropped and started seizing. I can only say I'm not a violent man. I try to use my words over my fists, but in that moment, the only thing I could to say was if he preferred his teeth down his throat or on the floor. I beat him into unconsciousness, and the next door neighbor came rushing over, hearing the screaming. With my I begged him to stay with my sister and nephew until the cops arrived and rushed my dog to the animal hospital. So after he beat him up like severely, told him to stay. I thought she was, yeah, I thought she was going to die, but thankfully she pulled through. He's talking about his dog. Baby daddy was taken to the hospital and threatened for a few fractured, was treated for a few fractured ribs, concussion, and a dislocated shoulder. I threatened to bring up charge. He threatened to bring up charges on me, but seeing as he broke into my home, tried to kill my dog, and had intent to harm me with a baseball bat, and I had a hefty vet bill, the charges vanished pretty fast. yeah, on the other hand, you could probably, sue him if he, if he has any money though. It's like he probably doesn't have anything. It's like, why would you even sue him and go through that hassle, I guess. Um, but he did, break the law. And it's almost like, I don't know what charges happen if trying to kill a guy's dog right in front of him or break into the house, but now my sister is angry with me because he will not under any circumstance see his son. He won't talk to her until he moves back in with him because he knows that I have it out to get him. Yeah, you gave him a pretty good sign there. She wants me to apologize, but I won't, and she's considering moving back in with him. It's like, holy shit. It's like that's how toxic and addicting like some of these relationships can be. It's like you get addicted to that harm and that pain. It's like after a situation like that, and now she's wanting to go back to him. It's like I don't know if you can even, I don't know even how to help somebody like that. It's like if that's not a big enough indicator, it's like you just have to just don't even almost fuck. I mean, what's a bigger indicator than someone coming almost trying to kill your brother and kill your brother's dog? And it's like, or fight your dad and steal from you and steal. What's a bigger indicator to leave than that? So it's almost like you just have to almost give up on that. It's harsh, but almost give up on your sister in that situation. It's like, I can't help you. It's like, and if you try to get up helping her in these situations, um, it'll cause harm like it did and get your dog killed or get you killed. So you got to almost just fuck. I mean, what's worse than that? What's worse than that is having someone you love, a family member like your brother, just almost like disown you. Geez, man, it's a tough situation, but it's like if the brother gets involved, man, he's gonna get hurt. And it's like she's going back to him despite all this. It's like that's almost gets to the point where it's totally on her at this point. She wants me to apologize, but I won't, and she's considering moving back in with him. And I've run out of ways to explain that he's going to eventually kill her, my niece and nephew. God damn. It's like, how are you going to protect someone who just goes back to that over and over again? I don't know if you can. And so she's got to come out to that herself. She's got to, it's almost like a drug addict, just being like abused and abused and abused, abusing themselves, and then just not being able to walk away. And, no matter how many times they say they're going to quit, it's like they keep doing drugs or they keep going back to this abusive relationship and they just don't have the power to walk away until it's too late. And a lot of times, so it probably is going to be the one of the most difficult things you can do is able as far as walking away from a situation like this. But it's something you have to do because you have to look at it. You're not just hurting yourself, or you're not just hurting your brother, you're hurting your kids, you're hurting your family, you're hurting your career, you're hurting your life. This guy can't hold down a job. You don't have a job yourself. It's like you have to link more pain to staying with him than you are currently linking, pain to leaving him.